Look at that. I won't mention who broke the handle, but it actually wasn't me this time. Anyway, sledgehammer handle. I've got a few of these, 3 of these at least, splitting axes without any handles. You can go buy a new handle for like $30, and they're not always good. So then I think to myself, how about some Tamarack? Let's try that and see if we can make a handle out of that. And like all wood, the grain on your handle should be exactly flat, right? So you don't want the grain crossing the handle. So when you cut if I make a new handle, I want the grain to be exactly up and down, and then it'll be tougher. And look at this stuff here. If I can get it to even focus, how good should the grain be here? These are the big growth rings, and these are the small growth rings on this Tamarack log. I would think that I should be able to just cut, you can obviously see this is rotten, just cut a big chunk out so that I've got exactly straight grained wood, and then give that a try. So let's chainsaw a piece out of this ugly piece and see what happens. I've got a bunch of this Tamarack, and if it works, I'll make me a couple more handles. Okay, so I'm going to take a chainsaw and just slice down into here. The sledgehammer handle, this part here is 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches. So it's actually 1.25 inches by 1.25 inches thick, 1.5 inches this direction, a wooden one. Or fiberglass, a little different. So that's how I'll cut out like a 2-inch chunk straight down into the rot, into the center wood, through the sapwood into the heartwood. And then we can take that piece out and I can run it through the jointer or whatever else and see what we can come up with and be an expert. I think that'll, if you can zoom in here, you can see the grain on this stuff. It's pretty tight. Mm-hmm. Each one of those tiny lines is 1 year, right? And then you get, if you can see that, I mean, how many lines per, it's crazy, huh? Mm-hmm. So we'll give her a try. I bet this stuff will burn like gasoline.
It's very interesting.
Smells good. Smells like sap, actually. Ooh.
Kind of looks like cheddar cheese.
Nothing crazy.
Burns like sawdust.
Anyway, stage 1. Now I'll do something else and work on that later. Okay. Well, now we'll take this ugly thing here and start working on making it into a handle. I think what I'm going to do is just run it over the jointer here and see if I can get a flat surface, and then we'll work on what we do from there. Make some shavings. think maybe what I should do is take my axe and chop this down because it's such a wedge. I don't need it to be chopped to here, but halfway, right? So instead of screwing around here forever, I don't know. It takes it off pretty quick. Yeah, I'll take a few more and see what it looks like. Seems to me it's throwing chips. Now I'll unplug it and then clean this. It's got to have some, oh yeah, I thought so. It's plugged up in there so it wasn't throwing stuff down. So how do we got for our edge? Some pretty nice, that's flat enough for sure. So then I can flip it over now to that side and do the same thing, and then it'll be three-sided. Yeah. So it's just coming through the sapwood here, but I wonder if I want to whittle it down that way and so it's a wedge, so I've got a good flat surface. Because I don't want any of this white stuff. We just had worms in it, but also it's soft. So now that's thick enough for a handle. The corner is ugly, but it's only that little bit. So then do we saw the handle piece out? And it only needs to be an inch and a half this direction. So this is probably 2.5, 3. Cool. Okay. So we have two uglies here. What I did was I planed down and down until I got rid of the white sapwood. There was just a tiny bit left. Both of them are wedges, right? But what I wanted was the sapwood, the white wood gone, and the red wood there. So now, what you want for the grain is just about dead straight, it's just about perfect, and it's so hard and strong. So what we want now is 1.25 inches or so for your, because the handle is not round, it's more oval like this. All right, the handle is more like that, 1.5 inches this direction, 1.25 inches this direction. So now we'll run these through the saw and the fence and keep this face and cut away, because we got a split here, right? And they're both like that, but we're 1.25 inches or something. So we'll cut this face all the way off, so we've got a parallel piece. Cut this wedge out, you can use the wedge for something else, and then see how long it turns out. Okay, I don't have a table saw, so we'll use this radial arm saw. We've got the fence set up, and we'll run her through there and cut our pie-shaped piece off, so we've got a parallel piece. We'll see how it goes. What a rocket! You want to see how burned it is?
Ooh. That's cool.
You know what? You should have lowered it down a tiny bit so it's cutting through the out and throwing stuff more.
It's got a bit of a...
This are you recording? I assumed that this piece here would go deeper longer. That crack. I expected this to fall off. I don't know if you could make yourself a wooden spoon out of that, but you could make yourself a stir stick paddle anyway. So now, is that warm? No. Okay, so now we have our 1.25 inch thickness, right? And then we go 1.5 inches, and then we fit it into the handle and make it round. Okay, we got two of them, 2 blanks. I think I've I'll cut 1.5 inches, wherever that is, and use that as the piece, and we'll scrap this, whatever it is, and see how they turn out. Ready?
Yeah.
Better make sure it's down. Okay, that is real tight grain stuff, huh? That's the end grain, so we can see that the lines are just about exactly straight up and down. But look at this. That looks like it's probably some kind of weird half rot or something in there. You see how it falls down here too, huh? So you know what I think? I think I'll use this on the cheap splitting axe and not on the expensive one. And we'll give her a try. Worst thing that can happen is we waste a whole bunch of time. Again. So, if I draw a line in there, and then I'll see exactly how close I am to everything. Centered, 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 centered. So, do a little bit of whittling there and make her see how close we are to fit it. So we'll rough it in close just to see what it looks like, and then once we know. Looks nice, huh? So I tapped it on that far. So it won't take much. I'll just fiddle it more with the spoke shave. Ooh, that looks like a gouge. Cut it set too deep. It's cutting too much for the fine work. Yeah. And this may not either. I don't know. The Tamarack is perfect wood. Do not know. This here is a hoof file, right? Yeah. Curious if it'll go both ways the same, or it's actually softer than I imagined. It feels softer than. Cut in there and we'll pretend that it's straight. But I think we'll hammer it on there so then we can hang on the other end and finish this end. It actually seems to be more flexible than you'd think. Wow.
That went right through.
So I'll drive a wedge in there. And then finish the handle. And then break it off in the first 5 swings. And go, well now, that was an adventure. A bit disappointed, were you? Yeah. Piece of oak.
Guess that's it.
I'm surprised how much it went in there, so it's soft enough to mushroom like that, huh? I think I'll take the hacksaw and cut that off now. I'm increasing my opinion that the handle will be too soft. I think that if it is mushed, that because it took, that's a lot of stretch into this wood. And just for curiosity, how much will the handle bend? Just get her in the vise here somewhere where it'll feel captured.
How much will it bend, and how much is that?
Yeah.
How much is that going to help or hinder?
Yeah, it might be too springy. Huh. The worst thing that can happen is that we spent an afternoon doing something fun.
Yep.
She thinks we're out here working.
Yeah. Well, that is springy.
Yeah. Oh well. Finish her up. I think we're gonna just quit right where we're at. Whether we're quitting when you're ahead or not, that's another question. I didn't bother putting a steel wedge in. The wooden one's gonna play good enough until we see if we break it. It seems like you're distracted because the dog's tearing his mattress apart.
Yeah.
Hey! Stop that. It's flexible, this stuff.
It keeps going.
Might be too dark to try to split a piece of wood. Try it in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, final conclusion on our Tamarack splitting handle. So there's the wood. It is very close grained wood, as you can see. And we'll see, and it's flexible. We'll see how it works. This will be the final conclusion. At this point, I'm suspecting that this wood is too flexible, but flexible doesn't hurt anything. But more than anything, I suspect if you zoom in on like a little piece like this, how The grain is very, very tight, but I suspect that the wood has a tendency to delaminate as if it were glued together, you know, like layers of all water-soaked plywood. I don't know that that's true, but I suspect that might be the case, especially over time, because as you make it, it wants to pull those layers off of the grain when you're even when you're planing it. But let's try it out, because we did the work, so we better at least not break it first time we use it. But if it gets broken first time, we'll blame it on the kids, because I wouldn't have done it, right? It also helps when it's like minus 25. Oh, I should have watched that flex on the handle there. Quite a bit of flex there, huh? This is an 8-pound head. So does it work? So far. But I don't know that it's actually as hard as I wish it would be. Well, it didn't hit the saw, that's a good thing. So was it a success? Absolutely. Because the new handle costs 30 bucks. And we only spent 6 hours making this one. Anyway, so far it worked. Have a great day. Talk to you later.